Deadly ambitions, how the Dalton Gang terrorized the Wild West with their infamous heists, robberies, and shootouts. Hello, we're diving into an exciting and terrifying narrative in our newest episode. This isn't just another Wild West story, it's a trip into boldness, ambition, and the unrelenting quest of notoriety. Ready to hop onto a thrilling ride back in time? Buckle up, because today we're uncovering the infamous saga of the Dalton Gang. The Outlaws who, with their daring heists and legendary shootouts, spread terror in the heart of the Wild West. The dawn of the Dalton Gang. Have you ever heard of the Dalton Gang, the name that made many a heart quiver in the Wild West? An infamous name feared by some and admired by others. A name is synonymous with brazen robberies, audacious shootouts, and daring heists. But who exactly were these men? Let's go back to the 1890s when the echoes of gunfire and the clink of spurs were not uncommon. A time that spawned legends of rugged outlaws and tenacious law enforcement officers. Formation of the gang, the Dalton brothers turned rogue. Here's where our story takes a turn. From law enforcement officers to outlaws, the Dalton brothers made a choice that changed everything. Embittered by losing their brother and frustrated by false accusations, the Dalton brothers decided to rewrite their destinies. Bob and Emmett started small, dabbling in horse thieving. Some might say it was petty, just a minor transgression. But that was just the beginning. Soon, the taste of these little victories ignited their appetite for something bigger. They needed a gang, the group that shared their deadly ambitions. So they enlisted two other ex-lawmen, Bill Power and Dick Broadwell. Together, they formed what we now know as the Dalton Gang. 5 men ready to challenge the system that had, in their eyes, wronged them. With their gang assembled, the Dalton brothers were set. They got the staffing, the drive, and a growing sense of invincibility. And this, my friends, marked the dawn of a new era of crime in the Wild West, the period of the Dalton Gang. Early exploits, the first heists. Let's return to the 1890s when the Dalton Gang began flexing their outlaw muscles. Their first heist set the stage for what was to come, a display of their audacity that astounded the nation. Their debut wasn't too flashy, but it was effective. A train moving through Indian territory became their first target. They executed the heist with precision and made off with $1,700. Not a fortune, but a tidy sum that whetted their appetite for more. Emboldened, they escalated their ambitions, their sights set on bigger targets. Next up was a bank in Kansas, where they walked away with a hefty $20,000. Now that's a lot of money, especially back in the day. These early heists established the Dalton Gang as a force to be reckoned with. Their success sent a chilling message across the Wild West. No bank was too secure, no train too guarded for the Dalton Gang. But these early exploits were just a taste of what was to come. Little did anyone know that the Dalton Gang was warming up their deadliest ambition, yet to be realized. The notorious Dalton Gang, unraveling their infamy. The name Dalton Gang didn't just represent a band of outlaws. It was a symbol, a chilling reminder of the terror they unleashed on the Wild West. With every heist, their notoriety grew, their name sending shivers down the spine of law-abiding citizens. They had a reputation of audacity, of fearlessness. No target was too big, and no heist was too daring. Banks, trains, nothing was off-limits for the Daltons. Their infamy wasn't just about their audacious crimes. It was also about their daredevil escapes, their uncanny ability to slip away before the law could catch up. They weren't just outlaws, they were legends. Their tales were whispered in hushed tones, their crimes discussed in awed silence. Their very presence sent a ripple of fear through towns and cities, leaving a lasting imprint on the psyche of the Wild West. But infamy came at a price. Their audacious heists drew attention, and not just from the townsfolk. Law enforcement, their former brethren, were on their tail. With each appropriation, the noose around the Dalton Gang began to tighten. Yet they remained undeterred, their ambitions as deadly as ever. Their signature crimes, the unforgettable robberies. Let's delve into the Dalton Gang's signature crimes, the unforgettable robberies that left a deep scar on the Wild West. These heists weren't just about the loot. They were a spectacle, an audacious display of the gang's prowess and daredevilry. Take, for instance, the robbery in Alila, California. It was a hot July day in 1891. The team had set their eyes on a Southern Pacific train carrying a hefty sum. They stopped the train, threatened the crew, and effortlessly walked away with $7,000. An impressive heist that cemented their reputation as formidable outlaws. But the Dalton Gang didn't stop at trains. Banks, too, were in their crosshairs. Their most notable bank robbery took place in El Reno, Oklahoma. The brothers waltzed in, took control, and walked away with $20,000. A daring heist executed in broad daylight. These signature crimes, committed with audacity and precision, truly defined the Dalton Gang. They didn't just rob banks and trains, they instilled fear, their name becoming a dreaded symbol of outlawry in the Wild West. Shootouts and Showdowns. Life in the line of fire. Here's where our tale takes a dramatic turn. With a string of daring heists under their belts, the Dalton Gang didn't just attract infamy, they also courted danger. Their criminal pursuits inevitably led to confrontations with the law. Shootouts and showdowns were part and parcel of their life on the run. Their very first showdown happened in Wharton, Texas. The law was closing in, a posse hot on their trail. But the Dalton Gang wasn't one to go down without a fight. Guns blazed, bullets flew, and when the dust settled, the Dalton Gang had narrowly escaped, leaving 2 law enforcement officers dead. Then there was the notorious Ingalls shootout in Oklahoma. The Daltons were cornered and outnumbered but fought back with everything they had. The town erupted in gunfire. When it was over, 3 lawmen and 3 townspeople lay dead, and the Daltons, they'd made their daring escape. Such were the lives of the Dalton Gang, living by the gun, ready to die by the gun. Their world was high stakes where every day could be their last. But it was also a life of adrenaline-charged thrill, of being one step ahead of the law, a rush they reveled in. The audacious double bank heist, a historical infamy. Friends, this is where our tale reaches its peak. Picture this: 2 banks, 1 gang, and 1 audacious plan. That's right, we're talking about the Dalton Gang's infamous double bank heist. The date was October 5, 1892, at Coffee Hill, Kansas. A town was well known to the Daltons, their childhood home. The plan? Rob the Condon Bank and the First National Bank, both situated on the same street at the same time. A feat never before attempted in the annals of American crime. Their audacity was unparalleled. Dressed in disguises, the gang split into 2 groups. Bob and Emmett targeted the First National Bank, while Grat, Power, and Broadwell stormed the Condon Bank. But things didn't go as planned. Their disguises were seen through, their plan exposed. The town alarm was sounded, and armed citizens rushed to the scene. A fierce gunfight ensued, turning the town's streets into a battlefield. 4 Dalton Gang members, including Bob and Grat, were in the chaos. Only Emmett survived, severely injured and later imprisoned. The Dalton Gang's reign of terror had come to a sudden and violent end. The aftermath. Impact on the Wild West. The Dalton Gang saw it as a grim reminder of the fine line between ambition and recklessness. They were audacious and daring, but their deadly dreams led them down a path of self-destruction. In pursuing wealth and infamy, they lost sight of the cost, their own lives. Their story also serves as a window into a tumultuous era, a time when the rule of law was still finding its footing, and the vast wilderness of the Wild West offered a hideout for outlaws. The Daltons and gangs like them were products of their time, reflecting the lawlessness and disorder of the era. But amidst the chaos, we also see the power of community. Well, there you have it. From audacious heists to daring shootouts, from infamy to the ultimate downfall, we've traversed the roller coaster ride of the Dalton Gang saga. As we pull the curtain on this tale, remember that while their exploits may be legendary, their path was dangerous, marred by violence, and a relentless pursuit of deadly ambitions. That's all we have for you on Deadly Ambitions: how the Dalton Gang terrorized the Wild West with their infamous heists, robberies, and shootouts. If you enjoyed this journey back in time, remember to hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe to our channel for more thrilling dives into history.